last year.
First pitch swinging, line drive, he's done it. John Means has no-hit the Mariners. They go! Brown fakes, dishes, Kyrie going for the 50-piece. Irving has 50!
Pressure from the Steelers. Mayfield in trouble, and he's going to be taken down. Who else but T.J. Watt?
First downs on this drive. Heineke, end zone, McLaurin, touchdown!
Torres drives that ball center field, hit deep, going back near the wall. Wilkerson, maybe, nope, goodbye, home run. Get him out of there! Don't throw to him.
I never seen anything like
Put
it.
up four fingers.
I've never seen anything like it.
He is just tearing the Orioles apart.
Jonathan Taylor, goodbye, touchdown, Indy, as he crossed the tape at the goal line. 78 yards.
And here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Department Podcast. We are back. All four of us are back on a podcast, and God knows how long. And it is time to start football predictions. Everyone's favorite sport is on the way back. We are currently mid-July. We're about 2 weeks out from teams starting training camp, and it is an exciting time. We are going to be going division by division previews, and today we're going to be starting with the NFC West. Probably one of the worser divisions, even though it does have the reigning Super Bowl champions in it. A lot of moves made throughout the entire NFL. It's been a crazy offseason. Still, honestly, probably not done yet. So we're going to break down all the moves. But first off, how you guys doing?
Good.
Justin.
Good.
Thanks.
I mean, Justin, this is your chance, dude. The Orioles. The Orioles, dude.
This isn't
The
a-
Oriole Legion.
The Orioles.
This isn't a baseball podcast, you know. I need to
Yeah, it doesn't
refrain from a
matter.
little.
You guys bring up the
Jet-
Nets on every single
Norm and I were
podcast
talking
I'm
the
in.
other day when I was like driving home. He's like, "We're not sure if I'm physically capable of handling a winning team for baseball."
I don't know what
You're
Justin's going to
not.
be like.
You're not.
Because,
We've seen it.
because Justin hated what the minute the Nets got good. The minute the Nets were good, Justin was like, I hate them. I hate them now. I hate them. So I really want to see what happens when, like, if the God forbid if the Orioles were ever like the number one team in the MLB. Like everybody's
forbid.
hunting for the Orioles. Like I would love to see how Justin responds to
You
that.
see how he is a game over 500 right now coming for the Yankees. like literally like they won like 10 straight World Series. Like, geez.
God. Yeah, Justin is riding this Oriole high as long as he can go, even though they have a series with the Rays coming up, which will probably get swept, and he won't say a word about it because they won 10 in a row.
They
So,
won 10 in a row.
Yeah, dog.
yeah,
For
dog.
them
All
to
right.
have a worse record than
All right,
last year, this is
Not
disgusting.
a
They need-
baseball podcast, though.
Well, they
Not a
need to go,
baseball podcast.
they have to go 9-65 to have a worse record than last year. So if they do that, that's impeccably bad.
That is
Hey, man,
impossible.
the Bobcats did it, so I'm sure you guys can do it. All right, so let's get into it. We're starting off with the NFC West, and like I said, the Super Bowl champions came from this division last year, the LA Rams. But let's start worst to first, right, Jesse? Let's start the bottom, and starting from the bottom, a team that we didn't think was going to be in this situation, that is now traded away their franchise quarterback, a top quarterback in the league with the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson's gone, and it has been a rough offseason. They made the trade with Denver, getting back Drew Lock to be their probably presumed starter, either him or Geno Smith. They did get back Noah Fant along with Shelby Harris, and this is a team that just didn't make moves. They got Jesse's golden boy, Kenneth Walker. That's really about it, but this is a team that's going to be fighting for first overall pick.
Yeah, they just went straight from let's compete to instead of trying to get a veteran, because really the only veteran out there now is Jimmy G, which I don't think the Niners are going to let him go in division at that point. So
I'd have
yeah,
to.
it's a clear tank job at this point, though, unless they get Jimmy G. Yeah, their only notable loss, of course, is Russell Wilson, but that's their most significant loss. That takes them from a playoff team to a number one pick team at that point. So there's really not much to say about this team, but like you said, they're going to be fighting for the first overall pick unless they get Jimmy G somehow at this rate. Brutal offseason. You know, you lose your franchise quarterback and your best quarterback in your entire history of a franchise.
They had to do it, though. They
had to.
had to.
They had to.
Yes,
the team was starting to
but
run
the
its course.
deal. the deal is
Yeah.
bad. Like, we all have to recognize that, right? They got the worst weapon that Denver had to offer, and Noah
Their
Fant.
worst quarterback.
They literally already have his replacement in Alberto. Like, they literally did not care about trading Noah Fant. And the Seahawks were, oh, we want Noah Fant. Who cares?
No one
What?
cares. Yeah.
Yo, you
Drew
got
Lock was for the sake
a starting level tight end when you can get those in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
They got a rotational like lineman, and then they got Drew Lock, who was only there for the sake of they were either have to put him in this deal or cut him elsewhere at that point. So they at least did him a solid and sent him to an actual team, so he had a job.
I really think Geno Smith is going to be the guy throughout most of the year, because
it's a tank job.
What does Carroll value more than anything on offense? Running the ball and not turning the ball over. Drew Lock wakes up, I've said since he started, he wakes up with 2 interceptions on his box score. Like, this man he can't not throw interceptions. And in Seattle, he's going to see DK Metcalf streaking down the field and be like, oh, I got that. I can fit that. And then it's going to be straight to the safety. This team is bad. This is not a good team. They're not good defensively. They're a whole defensive coaching lineup. So maybe if they put their things together and they run the ball really well, they could be like 7-10.
That's generous, I think.
I
I think that's good.
I'm saying like top 5 rushing offense, and like
They might
Kenneth
not
Walker,
win a game
baby.
this- They might not even win a game this year at this point. Like,
Geno could sneak a game here.
no, they'll win a game or 2 with Geno.
yeah,
They'll
and it'll
definitely-
be against like the Patriots too. It'll be like against a good team or something like
I-
Yeah,
that.
it'll be a 14-10 game.
And like I know, like we wanted to hit on like, oh, what key player or like unit does it like?
They
these
have
teams
nothing.
need to have
Doesn't
step, but
matter.
they're the shit anything at this point. It doesn't
I
matter.
think the
Quarterback.
only thing that could
Offensive.
maybe save them is if all of a sudden like a bunch of their offensive linemen just like really develop, and then you can pretty much next year kind of just
Plug in a
reset
quarterback.
and get a new quarterback, and you're kind of set. But I don't, surprise, like the offensive line probably is not going to be very good again.
And let's not forget, they also never paid DK Metcalf, so he could very well be on his way out this offseason or very well next offseason.
And why wouldn't you be if you see the state of this team?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's on his way out. He already has 1 foot out the door right now. So, yeah.
I did like their draft. I thought they had a good draft.
Of course you
Walker,
did.
baby.
They're gonna need about 6 more.
I actually didn't like Kenneth Walker as their best pick. I thought Charles Cross was a very good pick, and they got a corner. They got Kobe Bryant in the 4th round from Cincinnati, and he, I think, could be a starter like day 1. So I did like their draft, but it doesn't really matter for the next couple years unless they get a new quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. We can all agree on they are going to finish last in the division, especially in the division with the Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers. Odds to win the division currently plus 1,800 for the Seahawks. Jesse, are you taking the bet or no?
I wouldn't touch it. No.
Justin comes here. You're talking about betting.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah, Seahawks going to be bad. Let's go to Let's go to the Cardinals. They're another team just with controversy after controversy. Kyler Murray's he wants a new deal, and they just can't seem to get it done. They do avoid paying Christian Kirk an insane contract at wide receiver, but they do lose Chandler Jones to the Raiders, as well as Chase Edmonds and Jordan Hicks. So a couple decent starters.
They've had a lot more
leaving the team.
Like they haven't had a great offseason. You know, they got Hollywood Brown, but like Kyler's becoming a pain in the ass each day as it goes by at this point. You know,
let's talk about what they paid for Hollywood Brown. Also,
first round pick.
Do you know what else was a first round pick? AJ Brown, the much better Brown, was available for a single first round pick.
Yeah.
If this team has AJ Brown instead of Mark Hollywood Brown, I think we're looking at this
feel a lot
team
better about this team.
Way different.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But,
it's like, yeah, they were boys at college.
Who-
It's just like
I don't care. That doesn't mean I get a first round pick for you.
They didn't do anything enough to make them better.
no,
than the Super Bowl
it's
champs.
really the
That's
same.
problem.
It's the same team as last year. If anything,
Except
a little bit worse.
Yeah,
They're
they
gonna do
lost
the
Chandler
same thing as
Jones.
last year too. They're gonna start hot probably and then just like choke towards like the end
Well,
of the season again.
and who knows if they're going to start hot necessarily? I mean, they could, but Hopkins is out for the first 6 games.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
is a-
Oh, good point.
That
Oh
is
my
a
God.
very big deal that I think people aren't really talking about. Yeah, he's out for the first 6 games, which honestly,
about that.
ideally might not be the worst for them if they were a legit playoff like team for sure. And then you kind of get him for the last 10, 11 weeks of the year and he's kind of fresh. But in this division, you're going to be fighting for wins. You're fighting for a playoff spot for
Yeah.
the whole time.
Definitely.
And by the time Hopkins comes back, do we think Kyler's going to be healthy? I don't mean playing. He'll probably be playing, but is he going to be healthy? Kyler gets hurt.
Yeah, he's
by
always
like
he's
week
always
5,
got something
week
wrong
6
with him.
every year. This is like the 3rd year in a row, I think, or 2nd year in a row at least, where he opens the year as the MVP favorite the first 2-3 weeks. He bangs his hip or he hurts his shoulder.
because he runs around too much and takes
And then-
unnecessary hits.
I mean, their line isn't great either, but I
Yeah.
don't think like
They
I don't
haven't
think
really.
it's that.
They signed Will Hernandez from the Giants. That was their big offseason offensive lineman signing.
Isn't Pugh still there? So like,
Yes,
Whoa.
Pugh,
Like 40
Rodney Hudson. Like it's not a horrible.
I was going to say
offensive line.
Rodney Hudson. Yeah.
yeah,
but
but
it's
40% of their line is the crap offensive lineman from the Giants. At that point, when the Giants have had the worst offensive line in the past 10 years in the entire NFL, it seems like, other than the Colts before they actually picked it up.
Well, yeah.
They also did re-sign Zach Ertz, which was a good signing for them. And they drafted Trey McBride, who was probably tight end 1 in the draft. So hopefully, I mean, this team's just going to ride on their offense. That's pretty much it. But
Oh, it has to be.
if Kyler shows up, that's the real thing. He might not show up. He
Yeah.
wants a new deal
And
so
that's the
badly.
guy, and that's kind of the aspect who needs to show up is Kyler, because he needs to prove that he's worth, now $40 million at least for a starting quarterback.
Something else interesting that I think is to note about the Cardinals that people don't talk about is their first round picks recently. If you look at Isaiah Simmons, who has been up and down, the year after Isaiah Simmons, they also drafted Zaven Collins,
Oh,
who
yeah, he
was
sucks.
pretty much exactly supposed to be like an Isaiah Simmons type, where it's like, oh, he can just play all over the field and he doesn't have a position. It's cool when a team has like one player that does that. But when you're trying to make that your defense, when like you have a guy like Budda Baker, you have
Just a
Isaiah
bunch of guys
Simmons,
just running
you
around.
You just have a bunch of guys that
They're
are
playing
just like,
pickup.
you're leaning into the chaos, but also they don't have a good defense. Like they don't have a pass rush. Chaos works when like your quarterback doesn't know where and what's hitting you. You got rid of Chandler Jones. JJ Watt's probably going to play
5
8,
games.
9 games. Like he's
I
not going to
think
play the whole
no
thing.
more than 10.
Like you are setting yourself up where what on defense legitimately is one unit you can point to for the Cardinals and be like, that's above average. That's
No,
average.
there's
Secondary,
safeties,
just
safeties.
because of Budda Baker. That's it.
That's literally it.
Simmons,
Like,
wherever the hell you want to count him as, maybe.
I would put him more as a linebacker at this
Yeah.
point. So
No,
they
it's-
don't have anything on defense that you can point to and just be like, wow, that's something they do really well, except for Budda Baker's really good. That's it.
Clark, what do you think?
Yeah, you guys said it all. I mean, I don't know. I got nothing else with this.
Clark, plus 400 for the Cardinals to win the division. You taking the bet?
No. No, there's two better teams in them in the division. They're the 3rd team at best in this division.
I think they could squeak into second team if they stay healthy.
second the most, but they're not getting ahead of the Rams, plain and simple. So no.
Yeah, Cardinals made the playoffs last year and just did nothing to get better. Just got worse. So we'll see if they could figure it out. 49ers, next one's on the clock.
Speaking of someone who needs to figure it out, what the hell are they doing at quarterback?
NFC made it to the NFC Championship game this year with Jimmy Garoppolo, and right when the game ended, immediately started shopping him. Trey Lance going to be ready in the wings. Just kind of looking at notable losses. Laken Tomlinson was their starting guard. Kawan Williams, Raheem Mostert, and they did sign Charvarius Ward. So, the Niners are always going to be good no matter what roster they put out there. Shanahan's always a good coach, but this is the team that can press the Rams for the division. But is Trey Lance the guy?
It looks like they don't believe in him yet, or something's off. They don't like him in some way. I don't know if it's experience, if it's skill, talent-wise. I don't know. It looks like they're sticking with Jimmy G for now.
I just don't think anybody's offering anything for Jimmy right now, honestly.
I think until Jimmy gets hurt, or unless, which is going to probably happen because that always happens, or unless, he has a big stinker like in a couple of weeks in a row. I don't. Jimmy's going to be the starter. They like Jimmy.
Oh, no, he is not. No. Lance is taking all the first-team reps. No. Garoppolo will not start. Even if they keep him on the team, Garoppolo is not starting.
You don't think he's starting this year?
I would bet no. I would bet anything no.
As crazy as it is, I don't think
why
so.
didn't they stop him or something? Get anything for him?
I think they're pressured into starting.
I think they overplayed their hand. They wanted a second rounder for him. Every single team filled their quarterback role. And they still just kind of were like, we want a pick for him.
And look at what the Panthers gave up for Baker. Literally nothing. It's a 5th round conditional pick in the 23 draft.
At this point, they literally might just have to cut Garoppolo.
Or just do it that. They do with Baker too. Just get something for him.
That's the thing. Where do you trade him at this point?
Well, because they missed the boat with shipping him out to the Panthers. If they don't want to trade him truly in division, the Seahawks are really the only team at that point.
I was going to say the Seahawks, yeah.
I was going to say the only other thing that they can maybe hope for, honestly, and I don't think it would even happen, is if Watson gets suspended for a long time and the Browns decide Brissett is not enough to keep their playoff hopes alive, and then Jimmy can – but I don't think that happens. There's no place to send him.
I can't wait to see Jacoby dice it up in Cleveland.
I think the biggest thing too about the Niners too, another reason why Jimmy hasn't been moved, is what's going on with the Deebo Samuel thing.
Yes.
Because
that died down.
That just went. Yeah.
It was, I want to trade. Don't offer me a pay extension. I don't want to be here. So is it still I don't want to be here, or is it I don't want to be your second down running back and get over 1,000 touches a season? I think that is huge, like so important, because if they lose Deebo, I think that is legitimately 2 to 3 to 4 games that can swing.
Yeah. I think like Clark said, that's kind of gone under the wings recently. No, there's really just been nothing around that. I'm sure the Niners just said, yeah, we're not going to trade you. And I guess, Deebo's going to go for it, but they're going to have to pay him. So, right?
And I mean, it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a thing of them paying him. I think he doesn't want to do the role that they have him doing. He probably understands that his shelf life at that point would be significantly less with all of the touches that he was getting.
Yeah. Now, oddly enough, the Niners are only plus 150 to win the division, and the Rams are plus 125. So DraftKings is saying like this is kind of closer than we thought. I mean, of course, a lot of that's got to be on the mystery of Trey Lance, but I just every year we say the Niners aren't going to be good, and then here they come. They make the NFC Championship game.
The only time they weren't good was the year that literally everybody got hurt. That was it. It was the year that literally every single player got hurt.
If you had to say day one, week one, who's their starter?
Lance.
I think Trey Lance.
I think you have to go Jimmy. I'm sticking with Jimmy.
I'm going to go with Lance because I think just immediacy and what they gave up for his draft pick, I think they feel like they kind of rushed it a little bit. So I think they're going to have to go with him.
I think he also, even if he's not a great passer, like from the beginning, he can add so much dimension to that offense with his mobility, so much more than Jimmy can.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that that's the reason they made this deal of we don't want to be limited by our quarterback. Trey Lance's potential is quite literally limitless, but you need it to work. And honestly, like, if it doesn't work out, you took your swing and you missed, but like, you have to start Lance. You can't keep waiting and being like, oh, maybe, he'll develop for another year. You traded away.
But then at that point, you have
too much.
But if they keep on waiting too, you also have less time to actually evaluate him to know if he's the guy before you have to pay him.
You also, I was about to say, you have a lot less time on that rookie contract to really take advantage of only having to pay him
rookie
$20
contract
million a year rather than $40 million a year.
I think too with the Jimmy G stuff, he also kind of maybe dictated where he wanted to go. And I think that kind of shrunk the market a little bit.
He did say he only wanted to go to it. He wanted to go to a contender.
Yeah.
He wanted to go somewhere where he's a starter.
So let's see, so obviously, like, the Steelers went the rookie route. The Colts weren't really interested in Jimmy G at all. Washington probably would have been, but I don't think he wanted to go to Washington. So now that's 3 quarterback needy teams that just aren't going for him, and the market is just going to shrink. So,
and then it's like Atlanta, they took Mariota. The Saints went back with Winston. It's like everyone just kind of stayed pat at that point.
Well, and even teams that he's an upgrade for, it's like, would you make that deal? Detroit. Why would you? Do you really want Jimmy G over Goff? Why bother? No. What does it do for you?
So, Justin, plus 150 Niners win the division. You going to take it or not?
No, I think it's still the Rams.
Yeah,
I think there's a chance if the Rams are kind of like, we won our Super Bowl. Let's just get to the playoffs. We're just trying not to get.
Let's see what happens.
Let's go 11-6, and let's not worry about every single week, and let's worry about Donald snaps and all that.
Yeah.
If the Rams go that route, I can see the Niners maybe sneaking a division win by a game, but I don't think the Rams are going to do that.
No.
Yeah, it's all going to ride on the quarterback situation for the Niners. Now, the Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams, lock up their star receiver, Cooper Kupp, to a nice big fat contract. Matthew Stafford to a nice big fat contract. Sign Allen Robinson.
Aaron Donald got paid.
Yep. Signed Allen Robinson too. Just kind of everyone forgets about that one.
Which is honestly an upgrade over Odell at that point. Yeah. So they got
better.
Because now they have a legit jump ball guy.
Yeah. Odell's gone. Von Miller's gone. Darius Williams is gone. Robert Woods, Austin Corbett, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Johnny Hecker. So a lot of starters are gone. But
where did Hecker go? Did he get signed?
Gosh, it was a weird team. I'll tell you right now. But what are we thinking of the Rams? Repeat division winners or Super Bowl champs?
I think there's still enough star power on the roster. McVay is still a great coach. I think
Hecker's a Panther. That's right.
Panther.
They're going to be punting a lot, so they needed to. They said, "Oh, wait a minute."
He probably has the best arm on the team. Honestly, no, I think not the Panthers. Jesus Christ, the Rams. I think they'll be fine. They're still in reality. It's a 2-horse race in the West. If the 49ers are fine, so at that point they really just have to worry about them. And I think they can handily take care of that. So I think they'll kind of coast to a division title again. And at that point, just get into the playoffs. And that's when they can crank it up, because we've seen it last year where they can do it on a whim, no problem, and just bludgeon teams to death.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. They're easily going to win this division, I think. I mean, we talked about how the Niners can make it close, or even the Cardinals at some point, but this team's stacked. This offense is too good. The running game is good. Yeah, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Like they said, they add to this already stacked wide receiver core with Allen Robinson now. And then what if Odell comes back somehow, maybe towards the end of the year or towards playoff time? You never know. It's just another threat right there too. So I expect the easy division win and at least going to the NFC Championship again this year. Definitely.
I think a player to keep your eye on, who probably won't do anything, but he was their second-round pick last year, Tutu Atwell. He was hurt the whole year, so he couldn't play.
Jesse's boy. Jesse loved this guy.
I did not love him, but he gives me Tavon Austin vibes. He's 5'7", 5'8", but he is going to run a 4.2. He will if they get the ball in his hands, like he's going to be interesting with the concepts that they have. I don't know if he's going to be anything. He might literally never suit up for them because sometimes their draft picks just literally don't work out whatsoever. But maybe.
We're also forgetting Bobby Wagner signed with the Rams too. Completely forgot about that one.
Guy.
Yeah.
So
that was probably their weakest spot last year too, was I would say middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Rams, I would definitely take that bet on them winning the
they're
division
winning the
again.
division.
Super Bowl bound again for the Rams. What are we thinking?
I think if they get the right matchups, at least an NFC Championship appearance.
I mean,
I think their floor is divisional round.
Your competition's Tampa and Green Bay, basically, and that's kind of it at this point.
And Green Bay got worse.
And Tampa. It's probably going to be Tampa and LA again, honestly.
Oh, it's also Tampa with why am I drawing a blank? Who's the new head coach?
Todd Bowles.
Yes, that could be a little bit different.
That's Bruce Arians' guy.
I know.
He literally will only let Todd Bowles succeed.
Take over. Yeah.
Todd Bowles. I think at least getting to the NFC Championships in this team's sight for sure.
Yeah, so Rams looking to win the NFC West again. We'll see if nice face, Clark. We'll see if the Arizona Cardinals or Niners can pull it off, or Justin's sleeper team, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Clark, you want to give us the outro?
Yeah, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow the social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at sports.pod. That's sports DEPT pod. We'll be doing these for a little bit. So from football, finally, it's All-Star weekend as we're filming these right now. So another baseball one towards the trade deadline.
World Series right around the corner.
Oh, it's basically spring training right now. It's practically World Series 2023. SummerSlam's coming up, so we'll do a quick one on that. A party at Justin's house.
Oh, baby.
You guys gonna live reaction the full SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I'll just put it on Justin's face the whole time. His blank stare watching the pay-per-view on his deck. Sports. That's it. Maybe basketball too, because that's a sport too. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.